and Rashid Kidwai, you were on the show with me last night, and we were all saying that if it's going to be a Digvijay versus Shashi Tharoor fight, absolutely bring it on. Because I don't think the Gandhi family, by any stretch of the imagination, would have been perceived to be close to either of these two candidates. Please tell us and help our viewers understand what happened between last night and this morning that suddenly the whole game changed. Here you have a familiar candidate, a family-backed candidate, throwing his hat in the ring on the very last day, on the last day of filing nominations, and one of the two candidates who had already filed or was planning to file, withdrawing his nomination. I mean, something should have happened in the last 6, 7, 10 hours until this morning for that dramatic change to happen.
Absolutely, Zaka. If Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge had such excellent credentials to be the Congress president, why he was not brought in the first place?
Exactly.
I mean, even ahead of Ashok Gehlot.
Exactly.
Second,
you've hit the nail on the head.
See, Zaka, what happened in last 24 hours is or longer is a story of palace intrigue. Remember, the Congress may be losing elections and etc., but they know the art of politicking. There were many kind of caste considerations, lobbies, etc., that worked against Mr. Digvijay Singh, and his name was removed. And I'm tempted to use that word, palace intrigue actually that took place. And that's how we are in this situation. But all is not lost. In the sense, there's a litmus test for Gandhis. Gandhis, if they're true to what Rahul Gandhi has been saying, they can always allow in the sense they can make a public pronouncement to say let there be a conscience vote. Let every PCC delegate use his or her wisdom to select
but
between the two.
Rashid, that would have been absolutely par for course, and everybody would have believed that had it been the situation as of last night. But now with Mr. Kharge's nomination and the manner of his nomination, are you seriously telling me, and I asked this to Supriya, and I'm asking this to all congressmen and women, and I'm asking you as well, Rashid, after having watched the party for the last 40 years, are you seriously suggesting that the 9,000 delegates don't know who is the candidate, who is the chosen one, who has the blessings?
No, that is very true. But that is what I'm saying. You see, Rahul Gandhi has a task to prove Mr. Zakir Jacob wrong. If he comes on record,
I'm a very, very small, person. I don't think he needs to prove me right or wrong. But please go on.
You reflect a popular opinion. I'm saying that he has a duty and he has a chance to prove this wrong. See, unless the Congress changes itself, and we can go on saying whether the Congress delegates should change or the leader. But if Gandhi's, because this comparison with 1997 or 1999, presidential election is very different. There, Sitaram Kesari was Congress president, and so was Sonia Gandhi. Here, Gandhi seemingly, and they are not stakeholders. They are not. It's at best Mr. Kharge can be described as a proxy candidate. So if they allow,
but you are validating my point. If he's a proxy candidate, then how can you say that the Gandhis don't have a skin in the game? That's exactly what I'm saying. And let me be very, very clear. The reason why Digvijay Singh stepped down and I always believed that Digvijay Singh was a bit of a smokescreen candidate, if you will. He was just testing the waters to see if any more, quote unquote, further loyalists would, throw their hat in the ring. And when he got the sense that Mr. Kharge is going to, he withdrew his nomination. Advaita Kala, the other big aspect is, forget about, taking on Modi Shah, that is a different ballgame altogether. Maybe an 80-year-old Mr. Kharge can. I don't know. Maybe he can. I wish him well. Like I said in the previous show as well, in the interest of Indian democracy, we need a strong opposition. And whether we like it or not, the Congress is the only national alternative. But the other big missed opportunity here is, this whole process was supposed to be about a generational change, right? The old guard versus the new guard. You look at even the two candidates. They literally represent old guard versus new guard. Yes, Mr. Tharoor may not be close to Rahul Gandhi, but he certainly, no one calls him the old guard in the Congress party. Whereas Mr. Kharge epitomizes the old guard in the Congress party. How can an 80-year-old gentleman possibly be at the helm of a generational transformation? Makes no sense.
On the face of it doesn't. I would still go with the logic that, this is Congress's internal matter and they can choose for themselves, of course, who is best suited to lead them. I think the bigger question here is that, of course, this is part of the issue is this is an internal Congress party election, etc., and that needs to take place as per what their constitution is, what their agreement is, or their pact is within their party. The other part is their conversation with the public. Now, they have been hit very hard in the last couple of years, especially about the dynastic control of the party and there being no internal democracy. And I think this was a golden opportunity to put forward to the public who are viewing this election with a lot of interest. I would say there's more interest because of all the leaks and because of all the scandals in this election than there is in actually the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So that's a whole messaging issue that they have, which is another conversation. But sticking with this itself, I think this was an opportunity to say that we can have a free and fair election. What's happened now is that you have somebody like Mr. Kharge, who definitely has his advantages, has his pluses and his minuses, but is very clearly seen as someone who is controlled by the Gandhis. Now, one way to get out of this conundrum would be for the Gandhis to come forward and say expressly that this is not their candidate, because that is what is the signaling that is going out to the public as well as to the delegates, as well as in commentary that is coming from the Congress, because they are just commenting all the time, which is why we also like the Congress, because no one gives you drama like the Congress. And what Rashid said about palace intrigue, I mean, no one knows it better than him. So all of this is going on simultaneously, but what's happening is that the process itself is just fueling the skepticism that already existed.
Okay.
And I don't think that that's serving them in any possible way. So whoever becomes president, of course, we'll find out soon enough. But will he have credibility in the eyes of the public with what's going on with Digvijay Singh coming in and saying, you know, I met him, but he told me he wasn't going to be standing. But then I found out through the media that he was. I mean, all of these sound bites coming together just makes it all seem very convoluted. And I don't think anyone's taking it very seriously, apart from just entertainment value.
I also want to ask Sanjeev Srivastava, you know, the other problem, this could likely be an electoral problem for the Congress party, is that both Mr. Kharge and Mr. Tharoor come from southern India. And nothing wrong with that. I mean, I come from South India, so I don't find that a problem. The only problem is the electoral math. In southern India, you have, 100, maybe 120 seats at best. The remaining 300 seats are from northern India, western India, and eastern India. And neither of these two candidates have any appeal in the Hindi heartland states. I mean, let's look at this with very cold logic. In 2024, if the Congress has to become the fulcrum of the opposition, if the Congress is going to stand a chance against the BJP, it has to take on the BJP and, you know, compete with it for seats and for vote share in states where it's a direct fight between Congress and BJP. So you have Gujarat, you have Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand, you know, a whole host of states. Unfortunately, neither Mr. Kharge nor Mr. Tharoor are going to have any appeal in any of those states.